I can understand English, but I can't speak English. I've heard that comment so many times that I've decided to make a video about it. Why is it that we can understand the text in English, we can listen and understand what other person is saying in English, but when we want to do the same, we just can't? Today, we're going to find out why and what we can do to change it. But if you are new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Jasmine. I am an English teacher based in Argentina. I've been working and teaching English for about 15 or 16 years. And right now, I work only with women who want to speak English with confidence and fluency. So, having said that, let's start with today's video. So, to understand the root of this problem, what I want you to think or what I want you to do is to remember how you've learned English throughout your life. And probably, I'm going to share a picture with you. Probably the first place, the first contact that you had with the English language was at school. And what is the problem with English at schools? The problem is that at that moment, you were part of a group of maybe 20 or 30 people. So there weren't enough opportunities for all of you to speak. I'm not saying that you haven't spoken English at school at all. I'm not saying that. But for most of us, the only days or the only opportunities that we had to speak English were on evaluation days. And in those days, you had maybe to narrate or retell a story or answer some questions in English or say by heart the regular verb list. All right, but not a natural conversation. But if you were lucky enough and you had the chance to go to a private institution, in those places you were part of a smaller group, maybe five, six people, not more than that. But again, the focus was not on speaking. The focus was on going through different levels of English and learning new grammar rules, learning a lot of vocabulary, maybe prepare for an exam, right? To sit for an exam, all right? But again, the focus is not, or the focus was not on speaking, if not on learning the rules, the basis of the language, which are important, but are not enough for you to speak today as you want to speak. So, from these experiences that you've been through, what we can say is that you were taught to understand English, not to speak English. You were taught to comprehend the language, but not to speak, to use the language. And that is why today that you want to speak English fluently, you have a lot of information, you remember a lot of rules, you have a lot of knowledge in your mind, but you don't have the practice to speak. Okay, girl. So, first step made, you have understood why you have this problem with the English language. Why is it that after so many years of studying the language, you don't speak as you want to speak? But right now, what can you do to change it? What can you do from now onwards to start speaking with the confidence and with the fluency that you want to speak? The first thing is to understand that to speak a language needs a lot of practice. It's not enough. It's not enough to understand how the language works if you don't practice or if you don't put it into practice. You can have, and you have proved this, you can have all the knowledge about all the theory about the language, how the language works, how the sentences are formed. But if you don't put this into practice, you're not going to get fluent in English. This is the first thing that you have to do. The second thing, and this is where my students at my speaking program get very much surprised, is to understand that to speak English with confidence and to speak English with fluency, you need to know the sounds of English. And what do I mean by the sounds of English? I'm talking about this. When my students see this chart for the first time, I just can't tell you about their faces. You can't imagine their faces because after studying, and at the same time, this is what happened or what has happened to me. After studying the language, after so many years of studying English, to see this for the first time is like, what are you talking about? What is this? Right? And this is what you need to know, what you need to understand and to use to speak the English fluently, to speak the English with confidence, and at the same time to understand better when other person is speaking. Why is that I put the focus on this? Because this is what will give you confidence. If you know which are the sounds of the language that you are trying to speak, you have more chances of speaking it well. But if not, what will happen is that you will be trying to speak English with the sounds of Spanish. And that is a mistake. And be careful because I'm talking about sounds. I'm not talking about accents. Your accent is part of your identity, and that is okay. I speak English as an Argentinian person. You can feel my accent. You can notice my accent, and that is not bad. But at the same time, I don't have pronunciation mistakes. Why not? Because I know which are the sounds to speak English well, to speak English correctly. So, one of the first things that my students do when they join the program is to work on this phonemic chart. And I will share with you how it is that they do it. Give me just a second that I'm going to change the slide in this case. All right. Okay. This is what my students see when they first join the program. They have different modules with classes on each module to start working on their own. And I always recommend them to go. The first recommendation that I do is please go to the phonetics section. Why? Because in the phonetics section is where you're going to find the fluency that you want. All of my students join the program because they want to be fluent at English. They want to feel confident when they speak English. So you have to work here. You have to start by working here, understanding the new alphabet, as I call it, right? The new sounds, understanding which are the vowel sounds and how they are produced, understanding which are the consonants, the diphthong sounds. All right. And they have videos for each sound to practice. Of course, they don't work on all the sounds together. Of course not. That would be nonsense. Okay. But they go directly to the sounds that they have the biggest problems with. And another thing to work on fluency is to understand how connected speech works. But that deserves a special class. I'm not going to talk about that right now. So now you understand that it's not your fault. It's just how you've learned the language. And this, let me tell you, is a problem that all of us English learners have had. The only difference is that some of us have learned how to overcome this problem and some others are still struggling with it. So if you feel that you are still struggling with speaking, my invitation is to join my program, Find Your Voice, and to be part of a community of women who are speaking English with confidence and with fluency. You just send me a message and I will be very happy to work with you. If you like this video, of course, remember to subscribe to the channel and to like it. We are meeting again next time.